right, people, this is Mr. Wright with a clarinet lesson 4.1, and it's just for clarinets only. We're going to learn the very important skill of sealing off our fingers one by one. Each one of these tone holes need to be sealed off. Every time you're putting down a finger, you're basically making this tube longer. So if you don't seal off the tone hole, it will stop making sounds and you'll get frustrated. So you do have to pay attention to your embouchure, but then you need to pay attention that you're sealing off each one of these fingers, and you want your fingers curved like so. See how my fingers are curved like this to where they seal off every tone hole as you go down. So we'll kind of review the embouchure thing in just a moment. And always make sure that your left hand is on top so that you can activate all these keys with the left hand, because it won't work if you turn it around. You won't be able to play it that way. There's going to be plenty for your right hand to do, and you'll be so glad later on that your right hand is down below to be able to play these keys. So it's made to be played with the left hand on top, right hand on the bottom, no matter what, if you're left-handed or right-handed. Okay, so we're going to start right here with exercise 1. And notice I've given you the fingering for it. This is your left hand fingers, and the right hand fingers are right there. But we're going to start off with an open G, and then we're going to put down, most method books start off with the thumb, and that would be good. And I did that in like lesson 4, but this would be great. Now we're going to try not this F, but the F sharp, where we're going to put down our first finger first, and then this next note right here is an E, where we put down our thumb. See the little thumb in the back, and then our first finger on the front. I wish that was a bigger little dot there. But so we'll have open G, then we'll put down our first finger on the front of the clarinet, and then we'll add our thumb to the back to play this E. Then we'll have thumb 1, 2 for that D, and thumb 1, 2, 3 for the C. Again, so it's open G, then we add just this first finger right here on the front of the clarinet for the F sharp, then we add our thumb for the E, then thumb 1, 2 for the D, and thumb 1, 2, 3 for the C. All right, so let's try this with the metronome. I've got my metronome set at 90 beats per minute instead of 80, just to kind of move things along a little bit. But here's this first exercise, number 1. And 1, open G, ready? No, I said that I was going to review how to do the embouchure. Let me do that now. So if that didn't work at all, don't worry about it. Remember, to play an open G, we'll just have a right thumb under here, but you remember you want to roll your bottom lip under just a little bit. 2 top teeth right here, and you're going to seal off, have all your lips up against your teeth, never poof. All right, and then you want to begin each note by lightly touching your tongue to the reed with a burst of air from the diaphragm. So you'll sound like this. And I find it best when you're starting on clarinet to just get a Van Doren number 2 reed. It's a great reed for beginners. And also the mouthpiece that works great. I've bought these and given them to my kids. It's a Hite mouthpiece, H-I-T-E, Hite Premier mouthpiece. They sell for $20. Just go on Amazon or someplace, a music store, woodwind, brasswind, and get a Hite mouthpiece. It says Hite Premier, but it's a $20 mouthpiece that has a real free blowing sound. It's great for beginners, and you'll be able to play nice and loud. There's never this stuffiness that you'll have to fight against. So try that mouthpiece. But again, let's try number 1 again with the open G. Remember those things. Roll the bottom lip under, 2 top teeth, and tongue the beginning of each note. And 1, 2, 3. Now, most people would say, this is strange that Mr. Wright is doing an F sharp right there. Well, it's because I'm going to use some unusual harmonies as we progress through this method. All right. So, and I want to do that with this F sharp. And here we do it again. Instead of whole notes now, we're going to move in half notes, 2 beats apiece. G, E, F sharp, first finger only, E, one and thumb first and first finger, then a D, thumb one and two, C, hold it out for 4 beats. Then we start walking our way back up. And so you want to just you may want to spend like 30 minutes just kind of drilling yourself on these notes to get to where you recognize, F sharp, first finger only. My E is thumb and first finger, right? On the bottom line, that water drop D, it looks like a water drop hanging underneath this little staff branch here, little twig here. So ready? Let's do this number two. Going back to number two in half notes, but we do pop in this whole note right here. So try number two. 1, 2, 3. You'll sometimes see me when I'm playing like an open G. I'll put down my right hand fingers so that I can bring that open G tends to be a little bit sharp. So I put down my right hand fingers to bring the pitch down a little bit. So you don't have to do that right now, but if you're holding out a G, it's a good practice to start right now to where you play an open G or later on your A key. Go ahead and put all your right hand fingers down. All right. Now moving on to number 3. Uh, let's see. Play these exercises until you have mastered these 5 notes. Good idea. Hey, in lesson 6.5. Oh, all right. Yeah. So let's go ahead. These are quarter notes: G, F sharp, E, D, C. So we're just walking our way down and walking our way back up. And if these notes are not sounding for you, maybe you're not sealing off the tone holes properly. If you're not getting any sound at all on like an open G, that means you may have too little of the mouthpiece in your mouth, or that your bottom lip is rolled under too much like that, and it's just kind of covering up the reed. Pull that lip down just a little, just a tiny pad right there, just barely over the bottom teeth. And then, so let's try number 3. 1, 2, okay. All right. Now, that's number 3. Let's move on to number 4. Okay. And just because there's an F sharp right there, first finger only. And this, anytime you have a sharp or a flat or natural, it carries through the measure, this whole measure. So it will also apply to this note right here, this other F. So both of these Fs are F sharp, first finger only. Okay. All right. Let's try number 4. 1, 2, 3. You know, I think I will slow my metronome down to 80 because that one I was thinking that's pretty tricky for a young person. So you may want to try that one again slower. All right. Just go over that. I went through it kind of fast, but you may want to take it slow. And I'm going to take this next one a little bit slower too. Now we've worked our way down to the low C right here. This guy right there, we worked our way down to the low C. Well, here we start off. Here's the big jump now, folks. You before you start this, as you're practicing this, you may want to just work your way down to that note, find the note, get every finger sealing off every tone hole, and then start number 5. So number 5 here, we got thumb 1, 2, 3 is our low C. You see, so it's C, 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 rest, rest, G, 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 G. Now the brass players do this jump in their when they play. They can, like, for instance, trumpets play a low open C and a G, no fingers down. They just do this change just with their embouchure by firming up their lips against the teeth. So we're kind of gearing you up to get you ready for the lesson where they will be working on that. So we need to kind of know these 2 notes so we can help our brass player friends out. So let's start off on this low C. You may need to work your way down to, all right, to find that low C. Let's try number 5. 1, 2, Ready? Open G. Number 6, we go C, 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 G, 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 looks up slower. And then G, F sharp, G. And there's the fingering for it. All right, if you need it. Number 6, 1, 2, 3. All right, and number 7 right here. C, C, G, G, C. Then we go G, G, F sharp, G. Remember the sharp carries through the measure. Both of those F's are F sharp. Number 7, 1, 2, 3. All right. And so what you want to do, I kind of left you here this last little diagram here. These are some big important notes that the brass are going to be using a lot of, and we're going to be playing along with the brass. And so you want to know this open G, this F sharp first finger only, and a low C. And this will allow us to play some cool kind of intervals and kind of unusual tunes later on. So make sure you understand how to read these to where you can just nail a low C, to where you can go pow. Your fingers just seal it, and you can feel your fingers sealing off every tone hole so that note speaks. If it didn't come out, check your fingers and make sure they're sealing off every single tone hole. So that covers basically lesson 4.1. This is just for clarinets only. The other instruments won't have this lesson because you have a challenge of putting all these fingers down to hit that low C, whereas the brass players, if they play just a relaxed embouchure face, the low C just pops out. But your challenge is a little bit greater. So this is a lesson just for you guys to get you up to speed to where you guys can, it sets you up for success when they hit lesson 4.5.